Hello, my name is your cat the third, and you may know me from my Star Wars Explained videos or my fleet building videos. And it's the latter type of videos I'm going to cover in this video. So I'm going to explain for you, the viewers, how to build your own fleets, basically, in the Star Wars universe or in any universe, including real life. So step 1 is just decide the faction. It can be an already existing one or one you created. Then you should, for the second step, try and pick a role for the fleet. It's optional, but I think it really helps. So, for example, I've used supply groups, blockades, assault groups, and a couple of others for my fleet. Now, as I said earlier, this step is optional, but it's helpful when you want to figure out which ships to add. For example, if you're a capital ship, you could pick something like a Mon Calamari cruiser for your flagship in a combat-based task force, but you may only want a light frigate for a supply-based group. Now, for the third step, you want to figure out what your capital ship is, and then also your larger ships. Continuing with the Star Wars examples, I chose an Imperial 2 Star Destroyer to be my flagship, and added 2 ISD-2s and an Interdictor as my larger ships for my Building the Perfect Imperial Task Force video. While you're doing this, you also want to add your fighters. Starfighters, or just normal planes if you're going realistic, and these fighters should be the most advanced of your fleet. So this is where you could put your TIE Defenders if you're making an Imperial fleet. Now, for the fourth step, you need to decide your support ships. So basically, you want to pick these out based on your fleet's purpose and size. For example, if you're building an Imperial fleet, you want ships like Raider corvettes to fight starfighters, and some light cruiser to protect your ISDs. While if you're rebels, you might want something like hammerhead corvettes, or ships with a higher fighter count. Now, depending on your size of your fleet, you want to add different numbers of ships. And really, the more ships you have, the more support ships you want to add. In my personal opinion, you should have a couple of support ships per every capital ship you have. So, you also should have 2 different types of support ships, your standard support ships, and then your escort support ships. For example, in the Imperial example, you would have maybe light cruisers as your escort, and then your standard support ships could be like something like Raider corvettes. And those support ships, and I would also vary them in size a bit. So, for example, Raider corvettes are smaller than light cruisers, but they're both still in the support ship category. Now, for step 5, you're going to want to add starfighters to your ships as you add ships. So, for example, after you add every single ship, you should decide its starfighter count. And what starfighters you add should also help you figure out what later ships you want. Because once you know that, like, you'll have an ISD carrying, for example, maybe like 2 squads of defenders, 3 squads of interceptors, and 1 squad of bombers, you'll know, oh, I probably don't also need like a carrier or something. So you will want to, as I said earlier, try and keep your best ships on your command vessels. So it's where you put defenders, as I said, for the Star Wars thing. And then for step 6, this is the least important, but you should try to keep it in mind, is that keep your fleets realistic and try and keep costs down. Now, what I mean by this, instead of putting TIE Defenders in every ship, maybe leave some support ships with just regular TIEs. And also, don't have like 30 Star Destroyers in one task force, or don't give yourself like infinite malevolences, which I know is the ship name of the actual ship class, but I can't remember the class off the top of my head. But, you know, that type of stuff. So, I hope this video kind of gives you an idea of how you can design your own fleet in the Star Wars universe or in real life. And, yeah. I know it's a loose format, but this really leaves it up to you, kind of, in my opinion, to decide like what type of ships you want. And it's just these are just some tips that I've used while designing my fleets. So yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.